Johnson, there is a difference, and by Rogers Behavioral Health. Nags, welcome to the program.
Happy Friday, boys. You ready to get out
to
Pittsburgh and get this W?
This week has been one of the longest months of the year.
For real. I mean, last time I talked to you, we just found out Craig Counsell was leaving?
Yes.
Like, that feels like a year ago.
I think that's the biggest thing. You know what else feels like a year ago? 20-3 Packers over the Rams.
That does feel like a very, very long time ago. But I will tell you, after 42 days without a victory, I have been gnawing at the carcass of that win. I will tell you that.
All right. So what have you learned in your film study and your analysis that would make it possible for them to repeat?
Well, they'll play up front. The fact that they got Nyman and Runyon back this week during practice, got a little nervous there on Wednesday when neither one of those guys was out there. But Thursday and Friday, both out there practicing and both listed as questionable heading into this game. The one concern there, though, is Josh Myers popping up on the injury report, now also listed as questionable. Man, you don't like the idea of having to juggle your offensive line going in, especially on the road, to a place where, Highsmith and, of course, T.J. Watt can wreck some things on the edge. You got to work inside out. You got to be strong inside out. You're just juggling things and maybe have a backup center in there. Maybe it's Zach Tom. I don't know. But, man, hopefully Myers can go.
Yeah. With that front, you don't want to, you don't want to be compromised with T.J. Watt roaming around.
No, you don't. You do not.
So far, do you think is T.J. Watt better than his brother?
Well, they're different players. They asked to do different things. I think he's probably a little bit more disruptive only because of the position he plays. He's allowed to pin his ears back and just get after the quarterback a lot more than J.J. was. J.J., while being an incredible interior disruptive force, he was also asked to, take on double teams and do things that, T.J.'s not being asked to do there on the outside. I have a hard time saying better, though. I mean, I know injury robbed us of a lot of, peak JJ years, but man, when JJ was right, he was pretty unstoppable. So I have a hard time kind of saying one's better than the other. They're just a little different.
Pretty neck and neck. Yeah. TJ isn't dropping in coverage and stuff. Although I think JJ's the only one who had a pick six. TJ hasn't had one yet.
I do remember that. I remember his visage on the sideline afterwards. That became a bit of a regular occurrence on the NFL Network.
Caught a couple of TDs too, as I recall.
He did indeed. He did indeed. But then he did the belt after he sacked Aaron Rodgers, and they lost.
Nags, I don't know if I've been ignoring it or we were buried in Brewers drama or what, but I haven't seen a lot of think pieces, looking back, and Kevin King slander on the socials. Have you been getting that?
Oh, sir, you definitely must have been lost in Brewers land then, because I believe my old buddy Ryan Wood wrote a piece about that very thing for the Green Bay Press Gazette over there on PackersNews.com, and that sent, the usual denizens of the Packers internet into all sorts of fun, frenetic back and forths. I will say, I can't wait till Thanksgiving week and we can have some kind of headline about the Packers once again face the ghost of the fact that they didn't draft Barry Sanders. I mean, how far back do we got to go here?
I was going to say every generation needs their Dirk Nowitzki, the one that got away.
The one that
such idiots.
Yeah. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Okay,
no doubt.
But okay, regarding Sunday, T.J. Watt is headed for that gold jacket. He's a game wrecker. And I've talked before about how Packers have, until Aaron Donald, they've been wrecked by guys who wreck games. Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson. They've allowed the guy that you can't let beat you to beat them. My question is, this matchup, though they don't face off against each other, Rashawn Gary is the Packers' T.J. Watt in a sense, right? And it's supposed to be their disruptor, version of a disruptor. Mm-hmm. And I think, whoever has the more impactful game there will put their team in a position where they're have the advantage, right? I mean, that's they don't play against each other, but they're both going to be asked to pressure the quarterback and disrupt. And whoever does a better job, I think their team will likely come out ahead.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong, especially when you look at the Steelers last year when Watt was hurt, and then the Steelers this year when they're not very good on offense. I mean, they're pretty terrible actually on offense, but just the addition of Watt has led to some wins because he turns the ball over. When he gets to the quarterback, he does a great job of getting that ball on the ground for his team to pick up, I do think it's interesting because, of course, both teams are circling that guy, whether it's the Packers circling Watt or the Steelers circling Gary. That's the guy you got to take care of in protection. That's the first guy you're thinking of when you're setting your protection and drawing up your game plan. But, Alex Highsmith on the opposite side of TJ Watt is also a pretty damn good game record.
He's not a slouch.
He's not the household name, but he's really good. And I think right now the Packers don't have that guy. Preston's come on here second part of the year. Hopefully he continues to do so. They've got the rookie, Lucas Van Ness, who, finding his way, but he's certainly not at that level yet. So that's what makes it a little bit more difficult on the Packers side, because if you're the Steelers, Gary's your guy. That's the one you got to worry about.
Yeah, it'll be exciting this weekend because we've got another game of tough defenses and against horrible offenses.
I mean, hey, they got some stuff going there in Green Bay last week. We'll see. Well, maybe the offense could move the ball in the first half.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
they got a touchdown. Yeah,
they got a couple touchdowns. I mean, let's baby steps.
The fellas, we're talking to Aaron Nagler, Cheesehead TV, here on the Drew KB program. The fellas in Vegas have the over/under at 38.5.
It feels high.
That feels high to me.
That does feel high.
Pittsburgh's offense, and that spins into Kenny Pickett and Jordan Love, both the same age. Not the same in terms of playing experience, but both the same age. And we were talking about at the football feast last night. If you're a GM and you could have either one of those guys, which one would you take, Aaron Nagler?
Well, I'd probably take Jordan Love just because of what you're talking about there. Yes, he's young enough, but he's got that experience and those banked reps and work in the NFL. Now, he's working with a very young group, obviously. There's a lot of upside there, but I haven't seen anything from Kenny Pickett to make me go, yeah, please, can we switch quarterbacks? I certainly haven't seen that.
Kenny Pickett has 6 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions.
I mean, he's fine. He's a fine steward of the offense, but that offense just isn't very good.
It's not dynamic. Matt Canada is their Joe Barry.
It is going to be fun watching the Canada v. Barry showdown on Sunday to see which fan base goes more ballistic over their coordinator.
That is so true. Because I don't even follow the Steelers, but you can't avoid the slander of Matt Canada.
Exactly. Everybody knows. You know who Matt Canada is. You have no business knowing who he is, but you know who he is.
That's so true.
Because the Steelers fans hate him with a passion of 1,000 suns. Very similar to how Packers fans feel sometimes about Joe Barry.
I think part of the reason that I'm aware of that is because he spent time at Wisconsin. So
there you go.
Yeah, but even that,
a good land connection. Gotcha.
Yeah, even that, he was with them 10, 12 years ago, something like that. So I just that matchup. This is the Steelers are the Iowa Hawkeyes of the NFL, basically. They win with defense.
They don't dazzle you. Yeah,
it's
they'll grind you down, especially at home with that noise and that defense. And look. The green shoot, so to speak, on offense could shrivel up real quick on the road with the noise that they're going to be encountering and the fact that Josh Nijman played well. Obviously had to leave that game with the back. Did practice this week. Hopefully he's out there. But whoever's out there at tackle, man, not only are you facing 2 of the premier pass rushers, but you've got to be looking in at the ball on all these passing downs and then get your head whipping around and make sure you've got whoever taken care of. I mean, that's a tall task. Even David Bakhtiari, had tough moments with that in his all-pro career. So that's going to be tough, and that's why, more so than ever, it's so important for the Packers to stay ahead of the sticks in this game, because you start getting into 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and Watt and Highsmith can start teeing off. Well, good night and good luck.
Steelers favored by 3.5.
I was down to 3, sir. FanDuel had it at 3, and what's interesting is FanDuel had it all the way down to 2.5 a couple days ago.
Whoa!
Yeah, but now it's back up at 3. I literally just looked before we
back up at 3,
here.
And that okay, and
it opened at 3.5, but it went down.
Yeah. Okay, so it's gone down. Well, the Packers fans like betting on their team.
That is a fair point. That's a very fair point.
And these are 2 heritage franchises with absolutely fanatical.
How crazy!
Followings.
Speaking of just the roots here, how insane is it? I mean, absolutely bonkers nuts that the last time the Green Bay Packers traveled to the city of Pittsburgh and came out victorious was in 1970. Bart Starr was still playing.
Yes.
The last time the Packers went to Pittsburgh. and got a W.
That was Phil Bankston, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Phil Bankston.
Goodness.
I mean,
No, they don't
Ray
go there
Nitschke
very
was
often,
on that team.
But that is staggering.
Wow. Nitschke was on that team. Forrest Gregg played on that team. That's how long ago.
1970.
That's
1970.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, here's the thing, Nags. This is to me, this is an inflection point for the Packers. These next two games against the AFC.
Sir. Totally agree.
If you go into Thanksgiving against the Lions and you're 5-5 and you lose, okay, that's one thing.
Listen,
if you lose these two going into Detroit, then you're starting to look at the draft.
Start making your offseason plans, boys. And get some reps for the young guys and pack it up.
Yes,
yep.
and
yes,
the difference there. So the opportunity to get back, to claw your way back to 500, which is why our baseball theory, and it works for every team too. You want 500 to be your baseline. When you're having a bad year, you're around 500.
Yes,
in a 17-game season, not asking that much to win.
Here's the thing.
9.
I just want opportunities to win football games, right? Which they have Sunday, and they should have against the Chargers, although I think the Chargers are actually a tougher test. But just there's a chance there they can win that game, right? I give them zero chance to win on Thanksgiving. I am fully expecting them to ruin my holidays. So, please, I'm begging you, just get a win here.
So,
before we get to Thanksgiving, and I'm just miserable with my turkey.
The triple bank shot. Like if they win these two, I'll be okay. If they lose,
I'll be totally fine. I'm expecting
if they lose these two, then it's going to make Thanksgiving. You're going to have some bad indigestion.
It's even
when
worse.
They lose,
because then you got family going, "Oh, the Packers, they kind of stink this year, don't they?" And you got to deal with that, and I don't want to talk about it.
But then you're looking at the standings, and you're going 3-8, and you're in the Bears subdivision.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's real easy to make fun of the Bears, except when you're hanging out with them.
Exactly. You live in the same neighborhood. We're shopping in the same aisles. And Pittsburgh is a good team. This is a tough test on the road, a good defense. But you're right. This might be an easier matchup than the Chargers, depending on,
Well, I just think because of their offense, it's a real pop gun offense. It just isn't. They're not very good. They are not very good. They don't
blow anybody out. All their games are basically one-score games.
Exactly. As opposed to the Chargers, they got a quarterback, and they got some talent, and they can move the ball up and down the field. So I just think it's a tougher test. But, you got to go 1-0 every week, as Matt likes to say. And the Steelers, they'll be ready. I know they're primed. They've had rest. They played a Thursday game prior to this one, so they've had a lot of time to rest and prepare, had their mini bye. Packers got to get ready for their best shot, no question.
I need people, of course, to listen to Packers OT with me and Billy after the game. But
naturally,
Detroit is playing against the Chargers in L.A., so that's the advanced scouting. You can advance scout the next two games by watching that game at 3:00 on Sunday.
Absolutely. Well, you can watch the game while you're on hold for Packers.
That's true.
So there you go. In.
That's a good point.
Get put on hold.
Multitask.
Watch
Absolutely.
The game. This is real easy. I'm
multitask.
I'm here to help.
Okay. All right, Nags, give me a prediction because I'm thinking. I'm just as I roll this game around, I'm thinking Christian Watson gets triple digits. I think he goes for 100 yards this game. I think he's gonna have a couple long ones. I think he's due, right?
I'm not feeling that. I love that you are. I'm not feeling it
because it feels like it's about time. All right. Well, who else would step up, and who will we be talking about Monday if the Packers are to pull an upset on Sunday in Pittsburgh?
We're going to hear more about Aaron Jones yet again. The man is the key, and we all know this. It's gotten repetitive because we do all say it all the time, but it's the truth. Just look at the Rams game. I'm not saying he's got to get 20 touches in the ground, but he's got to get a bunch of carries, be utilized a bunch on offense. Everything flows through him. If they do that and they're able to stay ahead of the sticks, they should win this game. But they've shot themselves in the foot so many times throughout this season, it's impossible to count on that. But if they can play a clean game, get Aaron involved, it's a game they should win.
I'm taking Jaden Reed then. Let's see what happens on Monday.
How about
I'm all about Jaden Reed.
Can you predict a first quarter touchdown?
Okay, slow down.
Okay,
all right. I'll tell you what. If the NFL doesn't start making up offsides rules, sure, there's a chance. I'll give them a chance. There.
You're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying it.
All right, Nags. Carry the G, my brother.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'll talk to you on Monday. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Aaron Nagler. Our conversation